Hi, my name is Dr. Majadinger. I received my doctorate from Arizona State University, and I currently work at Yavapai College, Scottsdale Community College, and Paradise Valley Community College as the oboe instructor. And I hope today I will give you some insight on how to play these etudes successfully and what to expect from the audition process. English horn is not the best instrument to showcase dynamics on. So there are a lot here in this first etude, right? We have forte, piano, mezzo forte, mezzo piano. Just know what your abilities are on the English horn, what your range is. Whether the forte is a true forte or not, it doesn't matter. Just fit within that. Divide that into your dynamic sections. Try to put a little bit more excitement then, because of our lack of dynamic here, into the notes with the accent on top. So for example, in the second measure, the F, da da da, a little more vibrato behind that, forward air. And the last thing about this etude is, I'm sure you've noticed, in the last measure it goes down to a low B flat, which most English horns cannot play unless you have a low B flat extension. I know I do not, so it is completely fine and you will not be deducted points if you just take that up the octave like I did in the recording. Etude number 2, luckily for us, the top line is going to be mezzo forte forte, and the bottom line is going to be piano, so not much dynamic contrast within each line. Make sure that when you play the trill, the F sharp to G trill, you start and end the trill on the F sharp, although you're going to the G on beat 1 of the next measure. And then as well, in the last measure, because you have a poco ritardando, make sure those grace notes are a little longer. Bum, ba-da-dum. When I play slow music like this, I almost like to think about the grace notes as being on the beat so that it tricks my mind into just making them longer anyway as I'm playing the ritardando. Number 3, allegretto. This one is awkward because it feels like the sense of meter changes in a way. So the accents are on each beat 3, da da da, ba da 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 da, which feels awkward because we really want it to be on beat 1, right? So try to really bring that out, subdivide in your head. In the last 4 measures, don't let this music trick you into thinking that that rest is longer than it actually is. Bum, ba bum, bum, ba bum, bum, ba 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 ba. Otherwise, you're going to get behind bum, ba bum, bum, ba bum, bum, and we don't want that. And that's also, I believe, in the third etude of the oboe ones as well. That same exact idea. Just keep it moving in the last few measures. On the, let's see, measure 5, here's a little trick. You'll have to play left E flat at the beginning of that measure. Because you're coming from a D flat and slurring into it. So then when you play E flat to F, da 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 da, keep the left E flat down and just lift your right middle finger, da 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 da, so that you don't have to do a bunch of switching, because that's uncomfortable and not practical. Number 4, the vivace. Underneath the first 2 notes, you have giocoso written, which means lively and humorous, which this is a lively etude because every other beat or so it changes dynamics from forte to mezzo piano, forte, mezzo piano, so bum 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 ba da 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 da, right? So it just goes back and forth. Make sure you really try to play with that. It's comical, right? And then in the middle section, the poco meno mosso, make sure you don't take that too slow. You don't want to turn this into what seems like a whole different etude in the middle of number 4. Make sure it's very connected, very legato. It says sostenuto. And just make sure that as well on the last note, bum ba da 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 bum. Put some weight on that, like that accent wants you to, but don't back away. Don't go bum. Push all the way through there. Etude number 5. This is the only etude, I believe, that goes up to a high A. And because it is a slow etude, you really notice those high notes. Now on English horn, once you hit A flat or G sharp on the English horn, the pitch will naturally start to sag. So what you need to do is more air and a little bit more reed to get those notes all the way up. If you have a wire on the reed, it may already do that itself, but it's always good to check with a tuner, see where you are so you're not very flat in that upper register. Something else I'm seeing a lot, make sure that on the 3rd line, or I guess pickups to the 3rd line, you don't start dragging, which is typical when there's syncopation and tied notes. So da 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 dum, ba 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 da 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 dum, ba da 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 da. And I think after that G, if you need to breathe, da da da, da 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 da, because that'll prep you nicely for the rallentando into the next section. Congratulations for taking this step in your musical journey. Auditioning is a big deal, and I hope it goes very well. Remember to make a beautiful sound, play correct rhythms, play in tune, and play all the right notes, but most importantly, have fun.